Okay, I'm just going to play a 10-minute game and see what happens. Okay, Italian opponent. Named after 3 Roman emperors. Well, I'm sure Augustus Caesar Octavianus was actually one man, but of course 3 different names. Okay, enough Roman history. A little bit of chess. Okay, so he's looking to play some kind. Oh, he's playing, I think, Colle Zukertort system. A good system, a good solid system to play. Not so easy to challenge. Just gonna play a6. Seems maybe a little bit slow, but you know I'm gonna have to get some pawn activity on it. Okay. Yeah, I'll just play the knight here. Right, that's even although it says Yusupov Rubinstein system, it's to me it marks it out as being a Colle Zukertort system. Exactly what the difference is between this and the Colle system, I'm not really sure. Oh, yes. I think I'll introduce the idea of playing my bishop here. Well, that's an unusual and I would say poor move, because he's just making holes on his light squares, and I know I analysed the game earlier today where I said this was a really bad idea to break the tension here, and maybe it's still a bad idea, but since he's made holes on his white squares so much, you know, right, I'm going to play pawn here so that I can take with the pawn if he takes with the bishop. I'm probably going to be coming in for some kind of a kingside attack, some kind of a Pillsbury attack. Yeah, okay, no. That's great. He's broken the tension, so I've got space on the queen side, he's got space on the king side. But he's got space where my king is. Does that mean he's got a decent attack? It might mean that. But, you know, we'll see. Oh, that's got to be a poor idea. Got to be a poor idea, isn't it? I know he's looking for activity for his pieces, but, you know, come on. What kind of pawn structure is that? And I'm going to bring my queen here so that if he plays knight to c5, then I can win a pawn anyway. So why don't I just chase that knight away? You can't play knight to c5 because I've got it covered. Yeah, and if he plays a4, then I'm going to play b4. Okay, well, I'm going to play b4 now. Oh well, you know, that's an empty threat, and besides I can play bishop a6. The queen d3 isn't a threat unless I've already castled, in which case it's a mate threat and I have to do something about it. But it isn't a mate threat here, and I don't have to do something about it. And I'm threatening to win a pawn now. And if he thinks he's going to defend that pawn, he's going to be in big trouble because I'm going to take it anyway. And then I'm going to skewer him on b4. Okay, so I'm just going to win that pawn whilst I can. And invite him to consider how he's going to get that pawn back. Okay. I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to play. Oh, he's threatening the pawn with the queen. So I'm going to threaten his bishop with my knight, and if he takes with the bishop, then I'll take with the pawn and support my passed pawn. And if he doesn't, then I will play rook to. If he takes the pawn with the queen, it will play rook to c8 and get the bishop behind it. So he can't do that. So then he would have to move the bishop, and if he moves the bishop, he's going to move the bishop back, and then the pawn will come to c2. Oh well, you can do like that, I suppose. Yeah, okay. But then I can support the pawn with queen to. Do I support it with rook to c8 or queen to c7? Rook to c8 looks good. I want to keep an eye on. I know I keep an eye on a5 with the queen, and I don't want to be giving it too many jobs to do. So I'm going to play rook to c8. And still invite him to find out how he's going to win back that pawn. And of course he's really running out of moves here. His knight, oh, he can move his knight. I was thinking I've got a lovely skewer on g4, g5 with the bishop, but he can play pawn f4 to get out of that. But yeah, okay, you know. And now I can play queen to b6, and then I'm threatening to take the knight. Oh, yeah, so I can play queen to b6. I'm threatening to take the bishop on c2, and then the knight on b3. That's got to be good. Yeah, okay, I love that. No, I've got to support a passed pawn on the third rank. That cannot be a thing to complain about. And of course, well, of course I'm going to play bishop here and threaten the knight. And I think now is the time to castle long. I know I am to some extent. Castling into attack is already created, but I've got so much energy poured into the queen side that I need to just make myself a little bit safe on the king side, and f5 looks like a good way to put a stop to any king side attacking ideas. Oh well, that's got to be bad. So I'm going to just play f5 anyway. No. Oh well, yeah, if he takes, I'll take with a pawn, he gets the free pawn here. Yeah, okay. But then I can overwhelm it with the rook on f6 and the rook on c6. Okay, I'm just going to say that. If he takes, I'll take with a pawn. e6 isn't really dangerous because I've got so much against it. Yep, okay. f5. And if he takes on, pass on, I'm going to take with the knight, so that I'm threatening to take the pawn on g5 with a fork on the queen and king. It's difficult for him to defend that. Yeah, well, that gives me the fork. Yeah, I'm just going to say good game. And we'll take a quick whiz through the game review. I see already that the game is 26 moves long, and I've played 10 best, 6 excellent and 1 great. And there's bound to be a bunch of book moves there, so the accuracy I'm expecting is to be fairly high. But we'll see what the almighty Silicon monster thinks. So we'll go for a game review. 87.4. I'm perfectly pleased with that. It was a bit of an unfamiliar way of playing it, the Rubinstein-Yusupov system. I can't say it's something I'll meet every day. It has some very similarities to the Zukertort-Colley system, as I say. But yeah, it was it was a bit unfamiliar to me, so I'm glad that I navigated it so well. Oh, one miss, one mistake. Oh, I want to give up this game. Oh, one miss, one mistake. What is the point of carrying on? Anyway, book move, of course. Book move, of course. Book move. Yeah, book move. Yeah, book move. Yeah. Just as it says, c5 takes space in the centre, attacks the d4 pawn, and allows the queen to develop on the queen side via the a5 square. What more can you ask of a move? Come on. Yeah. The last book move. So a6 isn't a book move. I should, according to book, play d5, and this is what I thought of playing. But I thought, well, I'll go for something a little bit unusual. I'll go for something that he maybe isn't expecting. And the best is, 0.14 of a pawn better. So, I'm not, I don't mind that wasn't the best move. So he castles. And excellent. It wants me to push the pawn straight away, which I did think about. But I thought that then he might, if I push the pawn straight away, he's going to take the pawn on c5 and make the move b5 a bit pointless. But okay, yeah, that was the best. Now I am threatening to play the bishop to an active square, and yeah. Okay, so he comes with his king. And great, it wants me to play a6, I understand that, and I did play it fairly soon afterwards, but I'm just taking up some space on the queen side and getting my bishop ready to develop. So it's excellent. Okay, so the best was to develop the bishop first. Okay, yeah, fair enough, but that's 0.04, and what I played was 0.15, so I'm not complaining about that. I think it's a perfectly fine move. Bishop to c2, of course he has to. Play bishop to e7, it's good. The best would have been to come in with the knight and go for the swap and try and get some kind of a clamp on the e5 square, which I understand is good, and it's probably, well, definitely the best way to play the game, but it isn't my style. Although I do go for cramping him here. E7, I don't think that was great, Show follow up. Knight takes. And if he takes with the bishop, I'll take with the pawn. Okay, no, yeah. And then he takes with the rook, and yeah, okay. But I played bishop to e7, and it's a mess. Show follow up here, yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I'm not interested in tactically winning a pawn. there. I'm just not. So that miss I will live with. That's my one miss in the game. I'm living with that. And now I play h6. Says this is the way. Of course I have to, I have to think about, am I going to do a kingside storm? So that he has to think about, am I going to do a kingside storm? And yeah. But yeah, he releases the tension. It's good. Good for him. Yeah, that was the best move. B5, it says B4 is excellent. One of the top moves in the position. I didn't like it at all. What do I know? But, oh, that was an inaccuracy. A better way to attack the pawn chain by playing, of course, A5. That's what, attacking the pawn chain that way on the dark squares. But I sense he's made holes in on the light squares, and this is what I want to go after. So, yeah. But I'm theoretically a pawn down in this position. Oof. Yeah, but that can't be good. And of course it gives me the chance to play b4 and begin to crack open his queen side. And yeah, as I said, there is no threat with queen to d3 when I haven't castled. He's maybe thinking I'm stopping him from castling, but he's not stopping me from castling. Also, I should have taken that, and then if he recaptures, I should have gone for that idea straight away, taking that, and if he recaptures, skewer him. Yeah, okay, I understand that. But the best is minus 1.17, and the move I chose is minus 0.63. Not the best move, but it's okay, I like it. And now I take the pawn. You can't take back because... Huh? Oh, of course. No, I can't play bishop here and depend on skewering the queen to the rook because the knight is undefended. Yes, that's the point. I've undefended the knight. Okay. So yeah, he played too quickly. And now I'm threatening to take the knight and win a rook through the fork. He can't let me do that. So he moves the rook. But minus 2.05, and I've got a pawn extra. His position is not very good here. It wanted me to play the queen there. I knew it would. I knew I would make the wrong decision according to the machine when I had time to decide whether I should play the queen or the rook to the c file. But okay, I'll live with that. Let's see. I liked doing that. See, I can take the knight, take the bishop, and then if he takes back, I'll pick up the knight. So this kind of forces him to take, and now I've got a supported pass pawn on the 6th rank, and his positional problems haven't gotten any better. So he plays h4, and I threaten to take the knight, and yeah. And as it says, it's an excellent outpost for my bishop. And he moves his king. Castle it wanted me to play knight to f8, to b8, to c6 or a6, and yeah, to c6. Better, yeah, I can understand that plan. I felt it was time to get on with castling. g4, oh, yeah. I said straight away that was not good. f5 is a mistake. Yeah, okay, the pawns are there to... Yeah, I realise that. But he makes another mistake. And I take the knight with the threat of the fork, which he misses. And the fork forces him to resign. Yeah, okay, I'm pleased with that game. It was a good game from my point of view. Yeah, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe on the video. Yeah, thanks. Bye.